So we're here in Vermont. We just finished up this project. This is the homeowner, Pam, and we're just going to walk through a little bit, and we're going to talk about some of the detail and how we got to the point of coming up with the design. We started here in the foyer, and these are the lowest windows in the house, so that brought us to the closest point of the floor. And then we just started working up, and then we took the design renditions and some of the ideas that we got from Pam and John when we went through our initial meeting, and we started to design it. The homeowner, John, is an electrical contractor. He incorporated all this beautiful lighting into all the details of the wood. So we had to work to get to those points where the lighting was going to be part of the detail, and it had to dimensionally work out. So when we come down the hall, this hallway pretty much captures every part of every detail of the house. We start obviously with the flooring. We have the baseboard and the shoe mold. As we come up, we start to see columns get incorporated into it, a wainscot application, and then obviously if you turn, you can see something like a door that has a detail that ties everything in. So Pam really wanted to incorporate a transom detail into everything we were doing. So I believe it's above every door you're going to see as we walk through. You're going to see a glass transom where we want to transfer light, natural light, and openness, and then you're going to see some that are a solid panel. They're there to show the detail, but we want to give it a little bit more privacy. So as you go down the hall, you'll see things starting to repeat themselves with the columns and with the doors and all the different trim details. A lot of what you see here today is a lot of painted product. Obviously the flooring is finished, but the natural wood look is just a highlight of what we're doing. But if we walk into the bathroom here, Pam wanted to bring some natural wood to life in a few areas. Obviously Shiplap is very popular nowadays, and she had a visual of wanting to put some shiplap in an oak grain in this area. So we incorporated it here and a couple other spots, but it really helps offset and highlight this bath, and it does a really great job. So here's one of those transoms that we were talking about that's completely wood, and how it really accents and highlights that whole door area. Just wanted to make sure that we captured one of those. As we're walking through these secondary areas off of that main hall, you're going to see where a lot of the components are the same, but we dropped out some of the layers. In here, we've just picked up some of those details, and then we add a little flair. Up on the ceiling, Pam wanted to see something a little bit different. So you're going to see how we designed a molding for on the flat of the ceiling. And we've carried that through a couple different details throughout the house. You're going to see that in her master closet.
Yes.
See it in here. Was there another place? There was a third place.
We have the ceiling in the office.
And in the office.
Yes.
So we took that little border and we brought that in. It sort of works against the crown and between the lights and just gives it a little bit of dimension. So we're coming back through the main hall, and we're headed in towards the kitchen and what we would mostly consider the great room. Once again, you've got to highlight this floor. You got to talk about that a little bit. We have to show the detail. The floor just came out gorgeous. It's mostly just natural. It's got a satin finish on it, and it's rift-sawn, quarter-sawn white oak with some colors added for some of the detailed spots. This area here, as you would come in as a guest through that front door, you have all kinds of just eye-popping detail. Obviously, we have the barreled ceilings with the Venetian plaster, and you have the straps on the barrel, if you want to call it, that John has accented with his lighting. So as we started earlier from the floor up, now we're sort of at the ceiling, working our way back down to where we get to the doors and stuff. But you see a little bit of radius work on some windows. You've got some half circles. You got a couple full circles just to let all that natural light in here. to light this place up. So between the natural light and the light that John has incorporated in the project, it's just a bright, flowing area. One of Pam's favorite spots is the kitchen, obviously, and how she has this design for function and for beauty. She took some of that white oak look, and the cabinet company did a great job of doing a whitewash type version finish on that, which is very similar to the floor, but still different. And one of the things that we worked based off of the renditions on the prints was bringing our moldings into some of the cabinet detail. So you're going to see the baseboard that you saw in the hallway and in this room, changing species of wood and wrapping the cabinetry. You're going to see that as we head into the master suite as well. It just brings everything together in the whole house. So we're going to head down the hall now. We're on the other side of the house. We have a butler's pantry here, full access when you're entertaining. You know, down the hall a little further, another connecting over to the main hall. To my left, we're going to enter now into the master suite, and this is a great detail that I mentioned about how the trim just marries into the cabinetry. The crown just goes right to it, and it's the same exact profile. So now we're going to walk into the master suite, and obviously this is always a special place for the homeowners to design because it's their space. As we mentioned before, it's a secondary area, but it's pretty important. So, you know, a lot of people will have furniture that they slide around, but this stuff is part of the structure. The ceiling itself was something that was one of the minor changes in the project. We put the shiplap look on the ceiling, and then we incorporated some of the natural wood into some beams. And you have a tray up there, so you have lighting below and lighting above and lighting in the middle. So, we're going to continue a little further into the master suite, and we have what we would normally consider a little powder room to the left here. And this is going to be one of Pam's favorite spots. We're now walking into her master closet, and obviously there's a lot of cabinetry, and she's got some great added touches in here. I think that wallpaper swatch across the top below the crown, and there's that detail on the ceiling again. That wallpaper just really does it for giving this area a special look. So now we're going to make our way into the master bath. And as you saw in the kitchen and a couple of other areas, there was some stone involved. But in here, you see it on the walls and you see it on the floor. And so now we're taking our wood products that we have seen flowing throughout the house, and we're implementing those to work with the stone. So if you look back on the back side of the vanity, you're going to see the column detail that carries throughout the house. Obviously your crown, and this crown, as it changes dimension depth-wise, the crown carries that, so it breaks up a little bit. You're going to see above, there's a barrel. You know, as John and Pam incorporated the barrels into their home, they brought one into the master bath, and I think this one's the best. I like it. And then obviously a beautiful pedestal tub. You got a little window seat, natural lighting. Now we're going to just peek real quick. This is sort of one of the highlights of the master bath. You have the master shower, and there's very little wood in here like there should be, but we do have a crown detail. We do have a window stool. Once again, it's so important to just take these details and make sure that you wrap them together and you don't lose them, and they just carry out through the whole project.